Guys, I'm in an absolute pickle. My mother, who, by the way, never ceases to amaze me, guess what she's done this time? She tells me that she's been on dating websites, and she came across a guy. He's Russian. They haven't met yet, but now she breaks the news to me she's quitting her job of 9 years and moving across the country with him. Because, and I quote, he's going to take care of me. Oh, boy. A little bit of backstory. So, my mom's been single for, years. She's been divorced a total of 3 times. 1-year marriage when she was 18. Married to my dad for 10 years, then remarried my stupid stepdad, almost another 10. And her last relationship was probably 8+ years ago. That was also to another waste of space, but she did not marry that one, thank goodness. Recently, she started dating online, and myself and my older brother and younger sister have been supportive of this. We understand she wants to meet someone and she deserves it too. She's been relatively cautious up until now and has been using a background check program on anyone she meets. She turned away a number of scammer-type guys that she met and hasn't been easily duped. So, she meets Jeff on another site. She used to be on Match, where she met all the scammers, and he came up on another site that isn't really well known. Well, it turns out Jeff is a wealthy Russian businessman that just lives in the US since he was 23. He does have a daughter going to school in England, owns a construction company, and is planning to retire very soon. Jeff and Mom have been talking for a grand total of 3 months. The first month, she even admitted she didn't talk to him much, since she was talking to all sorts of people when she first joined these dating sites. So really, let's call it 2 months. She's told me a few times before now that she really, really likes him, but that's been it thus far. She texted me Saturday night saying just that, and yesterday she calls me. After the usual pleasantries, she drops the bombshell on me. Her and Jeff are in love. He asked her to marry him, and she, of course, said yes. The wedding is over the summer. He's visiting her in Pennsylvania next week. When he leaves Pennsylvania, she's going with him. By the way, this was all over the phone. They haven't even met face to face yet. Yeah, I probably should have told you that, right? She is not sure how to tell her boss, whom she's worked for over 9 years, that she's quitting. But he sure as heck isn't getting 2 weeks' notice. Jeff, quote, wants to take care of her. She doesn't need her car. He'll, quote, take care of it. She owes too much to sell it yet. He calls her his world. He's got money and doesn't want her to work. My mom has always struggled with money and, well, obviously men. This guy comes along with a fairy tale story and wants to give her everything she could ever want. And, well, she's hooked on phonics. Guys, what the heck? This is how 2020 specials start. I'm just so incredibly worried about her and can't make any sense of the situation. Yes, there's always the possibility that this guy's completely legit, and he just wants to sweep her off her feet and make her happy for the rest of her life. Then again, if anyone of your friends just came up to you and said they met a wealthy Russian living in Florida who was about to retire on millions and wanted to do nothing more than spend them on me, would you call that a fairy tale, and who would call it a scam? Alright, some additional info. Mom's not an American citizen. She has a green card and moved here from Australia about 20 years ago. I don't know if he's a citizen or not, but if this is what it's about, the joke's on him. Number 2. Beyond whatever she might have in life insurance policies and little retirement, neither of which I have any idea of, but which I don't believe to be of any significance. She really has no assets. My brother bought a house and moved her in there. My brother and sister are in PA, and I moved to Florida and will, thankfully, be only about 2.5 hours from where she's planning to move. I've been cautiously supportive, and I told her my main reservation is that she's leaving with him immediately. If he's got so much money, take a few months and actually date, then decide to move down there with him. So I text her today, asking for Jeff's last name and the name of his company. Her response was, I don't feel like talking today. Love you. What's up, guys? Mr. Redito here. If you thought this story is kicked off to be crazy, you've seen nothing yet. Let me just tell you, you're in for a treat. But first, let's look at some relevant comments to the original post. They asked some pretty good questions, and it fulfills us on a couple of things that we didn't really know. The first question was, can she do a background check? In which OP replies with this: that's one of the more frustrating aspects of all this. Since my mom was using this background check program, she's convinced he's totally in the clear. Nothing turned up when she ran his name. As soon as I can get actual details on me, and believe me, I will. Next question. Someone says to meet him when he's in town. Fortunately, says OP, he'll meet my sister when he's in town next week. Unfortunately, dear sister has been the most supportive of this. My brother lives in New Jersey and might not be able to make it home in time, and him and I are in the same boat. I'll get to meet him soon regardless. She's planning on coming back to Florida with him when he leaves next week, so I'll drive to where they are and meet up. Whether she stays there permanently or whether she just takes a leave of absence from work is yet to be seen. And the final question before we jump into the update is, did brother talk to mom yet? And more info. OP says, I know, highly unlike her in the first place actually. I did tell her yesterday how wrong I think it is that she's dropping everything that she knows this week, and that I really want her to reconsider all this drastic action. Also, she's not actually spoken to my brother. He was only informed through my sister, and brother has not called mom yet. Don't know if she's feeling crappy about what I said or the fact that my brother hasn't called yet. Oh, and to top it off, just got off the phone with my sister. She's in the hospital with a possible rupturing appendix. Ugh, this week just needs to freaking end. And now it's time for the major update number 1, with the title being Good News, everybody. So, I spoke to my mom just now. She filled me in on my sister's condition. She's doing fine, by the way, with the appendix. And then we got into the current situation. She said that when I called her yesterday and expressed how literal serious my concerns actually were, she said it was a serious wake-up call. She has also since started to take the blinders off and on the warning flares that went up, and admitted to me that she's seeing more and more red flags. She said, quote, that Jeff has, since she started asking questions just yesterday, is now clamming up. He's giving her the old, I know your kids want to know all about the man that's sweeping you off your feet, but we need to keep our private life private routine. Thankfully, she acknowledged how freaking shady and stupid a comment like that is. Finally, she said he recently asked her to do a favor for him. She won't tell me what it is. Could be receiving and shipping goods, could be sending money, who knows. She was adamant that she would never tell me, but she's horribly embarrassed regardless. So here's where it stands. She says, and I, bows thanks to you guys from the comment section, gave her the wake-up call she needed, and she convinced that he is a scammer. She's also horribly heartbroken and feeling completely embarrassed at this moment. She broke down on the phone, and I swear it's been years since I've heard my mom cry. Thank goodness, though, however, that she isn't moving forward with this horrible act. However, what remains to be seen is the true identity of Jeff. With the help of some seriously cool people that commented on my original thread, I believe I know who Jeff is, that this Russian is parading us. Her Russian definitely has a thick accent, and the Jeff that he claims to be apparently graduated from high school in Ohio in 1981. So I think it's safe to assume that Jeff has had his identity stolen. Her and I are going to email details tonight and see if we can't come up with more questions or leads on who the heck this guy really is. We'll definitely inform the real Jeffrey of what's going on. There's good reason to assume he's innocent in all this, and the background info that the other commenters dug up isn't giving any indication that he's a shady dude. But we want to see if we can't find out more from the Russian first. Alright guys, Mr. Redito here, so there's one final update on this bizarre story. Let's go ahead and hop into that now. If you are enjoying this, just smash that like button real quick. Thank you for that, it helps support so much. Here's your final update of this story. Hey guys, I just figured a new post was better than just doing an update since the other one had gotten so crazy and out of hand. Number one, first thing I'll run by you. The most recent update is that Mom is not moving to Florida with Jeffrey. She said I helped her see the light about the situation when I called her back about it after the first conversation. Thankfully, she took the blinders off, recognized that there were in fact warning signs, and is completely convinced this guy's not who he says he is. Mom's really hurt, but thankful that she did not let it go any further. Number two. Nothing has really moved forward over the last day or so since my sister got out of the hospital from her appendectomy. Work was really busy on Friday, and without the rush to make sure Mom did not pack up in the next few days and leave in the middle of the night, I haven't been as on top of persuading more leads as I should have. That said, there are still some really incredible supporters of me out there that have helped track down some really impressive info. And I plan on sending them some additional info that might give us the idea, finally, who this Russian is that's dancing around masquerading as Jeffrey. I'll post updates on this situation as they come out. Number three. Lastly, this was suggested by another person in the old post, and I really like this idea. Let me run it by you. I think it would be great if we could pull together a list of best practices to try and keep our friends and family, especially the older ones, safe when it comes to meeting people online. Once I posted my story, I was horrified at the abundance of people that had heard or experienced the same story, with maybe just slight variations. I think that it's one thing to say, quote, "Mom, this sounds like a scam." It's another to go to her, "Mom, this has every hallmark making to be a scam. It has A through Z on the list of warning signs." So, I'll start. There aren't all necessary pertaining to my mom's situation, but they do deal with other people that warned me. Please feel free to contribute some more ideas. So first off, I was in contact with somebody who got me in touch with a mod, who is very good at what he does, and they have a really great collection of stories and warnings from other people that have been hurt, duped, or lost everything. The main thing they could tell me was, the biggest red flag of them all: if the new romance asks for favors that seem innocuous, receive and send some mail packages, send a small loan, anything that a legal citizen with a job, a working phone, and a legit address should be able to do for themselves without any problems, it's not innocuous and could possibly be a criminal. So that's where we're at with the situation. Still, I have absolutely no idea who the fake Jeffrey is, but if I ever find out, you guys will be the first to hear with an update. Thanks everybody who commented on the original thread. I think we were able to save my mom from disaster of online dating. Alright guys, so when I was going through this story, I was just seeing red flags left and right, but that was even before I learned that they haven't even met yet. So that was the biggest red flag of them all, and it turns out it is what we thought it was, a massive scam. We don't know who the guy was, but maybe there will be an update someday, so make sure you subscribe just in case there is, and let's read this comment from the comment section. Hey guys, my own mother has started online dating, and one of the scammers that tried to get her claimed to be an accountant who worked at the CIA in Brazil, but could not tell her when he would be back in the States because it's classified, of course. I actually cackled a bit at that one because it was so obviously bad, but somehow my genius mother still believed it. Guys, if you've ever been in a situation like this, drop your comments down below. That's all the content for today. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, just know, the best way, hands down, to support me is to subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have an amazing day.